Andrew and Claire will be joining us. I have it on good authority. I can call them. Where are you? 2 minutes. So do you guys have a bright sunlight?
We're live now.
Oh. So,
So anything you want to say is on the mic.
okay.
Forgot that.
You just come closer.
Should we start? And then we'll hopefully come by the time we're okay. So we begin with the Heart Sutra in English on page 2. As I have heard, at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Ojjayi Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound goodness. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the 5 skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, "How should a son of a lineage tree wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom?" Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. "Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The 5 skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, this all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure, neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomenon. There is no quality of sight and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance and so on, up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is nothing but origin, no ending, and no path. No wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom, and have become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, which is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teyata, Om, Gate, Gate, Karagate, Karasangate, Odi Soha. Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One rose from that samadhi and said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Noble Avalokiteshvara, who had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra and noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced in the glory of the Blessed. Lamadam Gampo Yeso Yame Yama Jaselu Kangiro Rodini Teta Nidananda Rasawe Jenye Dungo Jeze Sije Nije Tukale Panse Kano Sebe Sesamari Yeno Duma Jeze Rodo Prana Vajita Se Yana Tujo Yandeso Rodara Chelo Nyamon Yelon Dije Jalo Dose Mare Mese Vune Yugo Shenye Jenge Ratena Dene Kaju Kaju Tason Yene Nudo Jose Chada Chada Jini Jete Alo Mense Jabe Yamadu Om Arabasana Om Arabasana Om Arabasana Cheche Chero Seti Talo Timo Mabarasane Kada Tiju Julu Topai Lodrio Pobe The short mandala offering of page 16. Swaji Puji Joshi Meto Pran Shira Liji Nike Yamali Sanje Shindu Hite Kumai Rogo Nanda Shina Chuvasho Jitsu Lama Namba Chena Ji Chubu Kala Jitsu Chitrini Cheta Zambi Duje Zema Zaji Chuje Shara Vatos Reda Meda Lakane Yadayadi Refuge prayer on page 22. Sanjay Cheta Toye Rama Janjo Bhagavad Yani Chapsachi Dagi Chuje Jive Sonamji Rola Penche Sanje Luvarsho Sanjay Cheta Toye Janama Janjo Bhagavad Yani Chapsachi Dagi Chuje Jive Rola Penche Sanje Luvarsho Cheta Toye Janama Janjo Bhagavad Yani Chapsachi Dagi Cheche Chepe Swami Rola Penche Sanje Luvarsho
Ri Shuak, Shong Tang Jena, Lun number Jangina, Pembino, Junjo, Day, Jishin Leper Subana, Zimi Lucia Pevandras, Atamo, Shuraka Chicken Dishuna. 저한테 원해 하면서 이제다 거든지 자신 금바다가 방한테 장주 선바대 자신 출연이니 방한자 스테이지 제제 단대리 류는 넘버 장지나서야 또 류다바서 줄와 아무도 가지 도는 거니 만들 류나 로제 계자소요 저는 류동 아니 류다바 류송 류배가 그나지 로제 동 로제 다바 로제 송 로제 배 그나지 계자 동 근데 계자 송 계자 다바 계자 배가 근데 이는 근데 류는 넘버 장지나서 또 아니 류 다바지야 당송 다 배는 류 다바가도 당도가 잘해요.
So as we discussed during our previous sessions about giving away all the sentient beings, one's body, position, good gain, past, present, and future, and protecting, purifying, and enhancing this. So the body, what is meant by protecting body, what is meant by purifying, enhancing, and what is meant by protecting positions, purifying and enhancing, and what is meant by what's good gain, protecting, purifying and enhancing this. And so at the moment that we're on this verse 17, verse 7 where we read, the enjoyment of purified body is healthy for embodied beings, just like well-prepared boiled rice without house powder. So this talks about, it explains the purifying body and what is meant by purifying body and how do we actually purify one's body. So verse 17 emphasizes on purifying one's body. So what's meant by the purifying body or the purified body? So purified body is a body that doesn't indulge in any negative actions. In other words, completely refraining from negative actions of the body is said to be is what is meant by purifying body.
So the cherry juice in a beauty, Charity, Shandara Tayare, what the negative governor, so beauty, Shan Jenny, any Jena, Jesanji Komantoya down, Atawa Toya Soba, the new human shows today, you may get any during your show, and so beautiful, to Datus Madeji, the new Chetapa, Tabata Tanju Komantoya. Cheto Maya Tan, other Dene Lady, so she's a Virginia, Jata Dallas, but the Let's Jerba, don't say Pin Maya Telea, and Louis Jam Asia.
So how do we purify our body and how do we make our body, which is purified? It is by, as we talked about earlier, that refraining oneself from engaging in negative deeds. And not only that, but one to dedicate, one is, if one believe oneself genuinely followers of the Bodhisattva's practice, one should dedicate one's body, the actions of one's body, towards all sentient beings. And whatever one engages in any kind of actions, in other words, bodily actions, must be dedicated for the achievement of enlightenment of that oneself and that of all other sentient beings. And even when one passes away from this life, and one's body will be left behind, and one should dedicate one's body by giving away to other creatures, the needy creatures. And right from this should one's body, this kind of wish should be present in oneself during one's lifetime, during when one is alive. Because even when I pass away, may my body be able to benefit other sentient beings and dedicate towards all other sentient beings to gain state of enlightenment.
then they will do it now. I have down to a Joanna, and this also really shen payment longu, yen pedo longu, more than you to yes.
So if one is able to do this way, and one's body becomes beneficial for other beings.
제가 yen payment longu said, I'm also the day you Lavando the Deki, Shandaki Goreaji, Labashana Botanji, and then the day you work a day, and the urgent member at the middle, and the day you do number that John Yang Chentos also do the Tani, the Deki Mala to remember the nothing, the Deki, Chiva Yabina, and then young, she Pagilabor Batanji, Parope, Senju Nimuto, so she under Botan. And then near it, Shivala Saba. Then you have your buggy. Then they all you, right? Then they let you all the Devana to the one. Or the name I did, Jimata.
So it's, if you look at the great realized beings, and just by their presence, by seeing their body, really gives us a mental peace. And receiving blessings by touching their hand on the crown of one's head also, purifies one's negativities, and also one gains, as one experience, immense sort of peace and the feeling of tranquil just by just one's body is touched by those great realized beings. So this is how the body, if one is a good practitioner and the realized beings, they can benefit other beings through their body by touching, other beings' body by their hands and placing their hands on the crown of others with the blessings and so on.
전년이 산지에서 지리야 아나스리야더니 산지기더니 중고 일바송은 담보 고사메 땡제 고마데서 뭐 주알아서 봐 어떻게 인지와 중고도 전데인데 르는 넘버 장치나 페밀로 준주와 데스 저 소속을 르데 첸데 르타마도이네야 지시체비 지리네 베 자다라 달아서 봤던 짐버시 되네야 아니 다야다 저한테 소속을 아니 르데 롱주니 안도도 베 다시 뭐 요하다 나가 기회 저와 루트야 당 아니 마음을 산지고 토라서 되네 요마 쇼스네 된다기 뭐야 버전이 다마이나 소속에 제비 다마데 샤리야 제 패도 용익을 좀 걸 저도 되네 용을 해서 이말
So if you look at the history of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and it's clearly mentioned in the Jataka, where it is said that Buddha has given one of Buddha's life, in one of his previous lives, that he has given his own body to the mother tiger and the 4 cups and so on. And during the time when the Buddha has given his body, he dedicated solely towards their, state of liberation and enlightenment. It is due to his pure aspiration and prayers and dedications. Later on, when the Buddha achieved enlightenment and turned the world, the first turning of the wheel of Dharma, and 5 first disciples of the Buddha Shakyamuni's public sermon, or his Buddha Shakyamuni's disciples of the 4 Noble Truths, the teachings of the 4 Noble Truths are said to be the rebirth of those 5 tigers. So it is this way, though one is not able to give away one's body in this way, but if one can dedicate one's body after one pass away, and if one dedicate one's body, and right from now, if one can dedicate and to the prayers and genuine inspiration to benefiting other beings by giving away one's body when one passed away, and this will also have a great benefits. And it is also the way of what we call here is purifying one's body.
단도 된다 단데 오마도 빼래 디실리 걸치거든 zimili che kemandra sede podo konia lune namra janjina pembelo junjo ate sede tenda che dishe level chibata zimili che kemandra sede pere
Enjoyment of the body, enjoyment of the purified body is healthy for the embodied being, just like well prepared the boiled rice without house powder. The last 2 lines of this verse is actually the example.
dishe level chibata sede pere dishe de div to chain ditusana tre dishe te chibata sede ya boju tsone nibe sanjojo ya boju chibata kare dishe level chibata pen dishe de 하는 야고 시베지가 추가되지 위면도 집행만다 스메스야데 다 랑가를 받은 동에 다는 거에 이 저는 당선을 다든지 여러보다 랑가를 가이사다린 부원인 동에 근데 자야서 조고잉이 말하게 되는 거로 제가 된들이 아니 루제도래야 아니 배도 용만 이래서 디시 야고 유자조조 야고 유수니 그 요가 있는데 랑가를 사야 명이는 랑이 도서래야 아니 배도 용이시 바로 하고 되나시
So example here is just as the well prepared rice without a house powder can help beings who are hungry and who need to eat and so on. In the same manner, one's if one engages in the practice of purifying one's body, this will benefit the innumerable sentient beings.
어다 지메 뉴질 페만 나시게 류는 넘버 자진나 세든 디젤이 버츠바니 베트야레 페벨로 준주와 세데 지메 뉴질 페만 다세데 코니 되는지 바래.
So those are actually actual practice and what is to be practiced, and setting an example if one is practice the benefit, what kind of benefit that one may gain out of engaging in practice of purifying one's body.
자, 단지 말아서 가르쳐 오르나 은소소 소리를야 대방교주 책임도 나야 다 안하게 마음이 지지냐 소소 뢰데 집하게 가서 거친 받나야 다 시는 뭐야 근데 얘는 배도요 같은데지 요아 좋아서 말하지 근데 제가는 얘는 배도 뭐를 제가 특히 정말도.
So for us, it is important to engage in the actions of the virtuous actions, bodily virtuous actions, and not only that, also important to dedicate whatever the virtuous action that one may have done, and such as have the virtuous actions of generosity and offering one's bodily assistance to other beings and so on. And not only just one is just helping them and benefiting them, but one should dedicate the virtuous act that one may have done.
다른이들 제달로도 딱히나 내지 쇼시 짐을 줄 대다 상계 누구야 명목이는 짐을 줄세요. 주로 지금 디슈나.
So the verse 18 here we read, just as when the grain is covered by grass, it becomes diseased and does not grow. In the same way, the sprout of the root doesn't grow if it is covered by the reactive emotions.
제달로도 딱히나서 자세히 배현하는 내용도 더 자세히 제다 라드 자세히 내용도 제다 더 자세히 되는 것도 시간이야 자세히가 요다 우리 시간의 내용을 제다 시간 때문에 저거니 시간에 때문에 여기 지원서 여기 자리야 마보마보는 차는 여기야 뭐지 제모도가 괜찮게 되는데 양 배바이나 지금 나가 저거는 되는 자대스네 저거는 단테마 멘탈로 저 트라우마 되는 자대스 제가 되는지 다 이제 받아서 있어야 돼 자대들이 양 라드 자서나 모든 아주 자세야 되는 시간은 양 권유를 심하게 양 드나도 자들 저거는 제거를 대체단들이 제대로도 다시도 세야 되는 것도 신가병이 많다. 신가야 버렸다고 신가는 자세히 되어있나요? 누구도 버티면도 되게 오래. 다시 신가는 나도 누구나도요. 그런 누구 많이 버티도 자는 것은 나도 지어있네. 저도 봐. 관마다 저도 되게 누구도 지어 주죠. 그냥 뭐 반대로 그래 방가요. 자신한테 지어는 되게 방문에들 주인지도 대학 거고도 어떻게든 되지. 로또 때문에 그래 로또 나네야. 자들의 신다 요인. 그래서 강바래. 강바. 다 로또 나도야. 아니 자가 강화 있나요? 로또도 예고지 차도고 말해서. 야 로또 때문에 그래요. 그 내양이 자세히 되어 있나요? 아니 로또도 예고 무용한 주인지를 해서.
So it's setting another example here. And just as when the grain is covered by grass, it becomes diseased and doesn't grow, right? So this is obvious to all of us. We all know that when you plant something and one need to, nurture whatever that is planted, and seed need to be nurtured by, necessary the factors that actually grows well and germinate into sprout. Because without taking care of that, just mere dumping the seed into the soil alone will not germinate the sprout, and it will not give rise to its fruition. So therefore, just as we plant the seeds and making sure when the sprout is able to germinate, there's no other grasses, because sometimes we see when you plant something and some very invasive weeds grows, and then it will prevent the sprout to increase and germinate and bring its fruition. So therefore, we all know about that. We need to taking care of the seeds that has been planted by watering and providing whatever that is necessary for the sprout to develop.
저 디단데모스 따와나시나 제다로도 시키나 제가 보고서 드리는 거. 또 원래 그러고 누가는 타오면 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 뭐 되게 짜대요. 라다 짜자샤. 라다 짜자샤. 근데 또한 누가는 교육관이 얘기만 과하면 언니가도.
So one can also say this is covered by grass, either covered by grass or covered by wheat. So whichever that one can one use, that's fine too.
얘네 그렇죠. 엄마도만 누가 좀 그래요. 보다 지지하대 또 야비스니도 저당 보다 자세자대 거의 로도 뉴글이야. 여기가 나사지래. 저당 그 로도 뉴글은 자지야 될 나사스케라고 말하다. 그때나도래 현다지 지원이 되게 현다가 거사다 까니 현다대야 참아야 좀 과정서 하는 게 뭐도 그 나사스케라고 말하고 근데 자세가 뉴 그런 한바 그게 나사라래.
So in the Tibetan text, the commentary mentions that when it says just as when the grain is covered with grass, it's not only a grass but also some kind of disease which is affected by some kind of disease to the root of the seed itself instead of grass. But when you look at the root text itself, it is clearly mentioned as a grass. But when you go to the commentary, let's say it doesn't. It's something a little slightly different than the grass.
저 엄마들의 내지 슈시 지문 주어서 뭐 거의 나사들의 문제도 내지 슈시 지문 주어서 뭐 강이야 제가 로도 세키나서 자데 로도를 제가 자데 나사들하는 문제인데 사원은 얘기를 따라서는 또
So it becomes diseased and does not grow. That's all.
제가 내지 슈시 지문 주어서 대대로 로도를 자기 내지 포화이나 내 되게 아니 로도데 뭐 흉거 제거래 야야고 지주 말해서.
So if one doesn't take care of the seeds and removing the grasses or the wheat, whatever that becomes obstacle for the development of this sprout, then the sprout will not germinate.
흉거에서 무슨 생수도 주나 이다가 제진 생수도 막 흉화세 주로 하더나지 로도야지 야고지 참고 중화진에 드네서도 제진이 그 참고 제도만 거진 제주로 근데 이제 로도 지주 말해서 다들 빼래요.
So this is just an example of the wheat or the grass that actually suppress the sprout and not letting the sprout to germinate.
제가 로또 세키는 내지 주지 지문 주세요. 제가 나머지는 빼 로또 자는 셔도와 다 되는 거는 대달 산지 뉴고야 녀목키는 지문 주세요. 되다들.
So then the actual meaning here is, in the same way, the sprout of Buddhahood does not grow if it is covered by the reactive emotions.
대달 산지 뉴고야 다 산지 고만데 뉴고래자. 산지 고만데 뉴고래자. 대달 산지 뉴고 녀목키는 된다가 산지기 고만데 이나야 rāngi chūla nyōmō ka kāwa ina, ante sāngi kōpa nyūgiti rāni liya tōtō ka mārēs.
So if one's mind is completely covered by these reflections, in other words, mental reflections or the delusions, then even though one may have a seed of the Buddhahood, and it will not, it will prevent from germination of the sprout of Buddhahood, it says.
대다 산지 nyōgoya nyōmō jina kimayu, nyōmō kina jimayu, kima zayada kāmbari, rāngi chūla nyōmō ka kāwa ina, ane jimayu sayade, tangi neji shuji jimayu sānayi, ane rāngi rāngyōgi ne sēne tō nāmba tāngi jima yeshi ngōwariya, ane jito ka mārēs.
So in the text, dividing text, the original text, what it mentioned is, it's not just covered, but also if one's mind is filled, it says, filled with reactive emotions or afflictions, then this will not, the sprout of Buddha will not germinate.
저한테 전다데 가슴 토이마토스 피니시와이나 산지 사이도 산지 사이데 저다데 나비 산지 사이지 케냐고요레 산지 사이데 츠니레 산지스 사만 사이데 아더 란주기 쥐지로 용조파 사만 차네 상스 지 사이데 ane rāngu jōne ya yōdēngi rī taba rāngu tūla ngā rāngu jōla ane tsāngwa tēnē jī chēne ya jīpa sāngu jī sēde jōnda jī tōsare.
So here, when we talk about Buddha, is the Buddhahood. Buddha, which is the Buddha that turns the original, the word, the Sanskrit word is actually translated into Tibetan as the Sangye, composed of 2 syllables. Sang, which means the purified. What is purified is a purified 2 obscurations, obscuration to omissions, and obscuration to liberations of obscurations, omissions. And gain is actually increased, developed. So what is meant by increased and developed is you gain a knowledge without exception, whatever knowledge there may be, by the Buddha. So that is, actual meaning of what is meant by Sangye or the Buddha.
다 지세에 조상다가 지 산지기 줄이야. 돈 남아 등이 집이 시에서 남치에서도 저단데 나중에 이해하는 거지. 이런 남치에서 줄어야지. 양고 시다고 상다나 남치에서 되게 이제 뭐 남치에 되는 마신이 취지에 매서 그래. 그다음 나는 속이 마신이 돼 취지 마와요. 제가 산지기 줄 남치에서 남치에 되는 마신이 취지에 매서 되게 에 취지야 안에 가서 그래. 저 말하바 친동에게 아니 이시지 라고들이야. 자유를 뜻이 얘기를 해서 그래. 지들서 뭐다. 그 탐지 라틴 줄어나지. 너도 또도게 되게 이시지 라고 세대. 되게 뭐냐. 얘기를 해서 지들서 뭐다. 예진 로야 매나마도 근데 로다기 이시체 산지 줄이에서 안티라진 GS.
So K in here, it's actually says increased. It has already been increased. There's no more to be increased in other words. It is completely, for whatever that needs to be accomplished, have been accomplished. There's no other things to be accomplished. And it is because when someone becomes enlightened or gain the state of Buddhahood, and such individuals' mind is completely transformed into omniscient wisdom, and there is no any phenomena that is not actually realized or that ascertained by the omniscient wisdom.
전에 돈 넘어 해주기 시세에 대한 주제 돈을 끼는 요원들만도 저희들 그러거든요. 같이 타면 손을 쳐서도 같이 타면 손을 해야지. 근데 또 소사들이 진짜 내가 들었더니 중앙지레만도 그리고 터져도 되는 나체데. 저지 요원들만도.
However, such a state of mind, which is omniscient, the state of omniscient wisdom, cannot be accomplished overnight. This can be, one will understand by how the Buddha underwent tremendous amount, of hardships and practices to accomplish omniscient mind. It is said that Buddha himself has gone through, he has spent 3 countless great kalpas kitchen with great eons, 3 countless great eons, or great eons to accumulate merits, applications to achieve state of omniscient mind, state of omniscient sun.
뇌목이는 지문 주세요. 되잖아. 런전은 뇌목이 강화이나 근데 지세야 돼. 근데 용화요 말했죠. 그래서 그 뇌목이 쥐지를 지르와. 라무들이 쥐지를 지으나 근데 상 지세 지데. 근데 용 말해서
If one's mind is filled with reflections, mental reflections or the delusions, then suddenly that Buddhahood is not possible.
자, 다들 용화라 아니 상지성의 용화라 근데 용무 좋아하거든요. 봐도 주제 근거거든. 근데 눈에 니래 녀목을 들어가다 시지 들어가세요. 니송 거야.
So then, what really prevents us from achieving such a state, the state of enlightenment? There are many operations and hindrances for one's achievement of enlightenment. But if we were to condense all those hindrances or the obscurations, it can be condensed into 2. The obscuration to liberation and obscuration to omniscience.
제가 단디들 터져도 타바다 다니시면 고마웠네. 타바다 다니시면 고마웠니 하고도 제가 아니 타바도를 봐도 주지 그게 좋았더래야 아니 영업을 들어가서라고 그래. 탐연지가 고마도를 봐도 주지 그게 좋았더래야 아니 시지 들어가. 제가 들어가니 해야 돼. 요야디 어느 도자 타바다 다니시면 고맙니 여러도 되니 어느 받아 주지 그니더라 아니 영업을 들어가다 시지 들어가서 도세 많이 받아.
So these 2 obscurations, which becomes an obstacle for achievement of one's liberation and as well as omniscience. So therefore, our main target as a practitioner is to identify those 2 obscurations and have a combat with those obscurations and gain a victory over those 2 obscurations to gain state of enlightenment.
다들의 이제 들레리 타바토가 있는다 다니지면 공부 있는다 아데 테니야야 카르보르스나 아니 또는 것도 베시라나 줄이 째버려 또는 것도 베시라나 줄이 맞제바 타바야 도토구만은 해주고 봐야 도토구만.
So in order to gain either one of those states, whether state of liberation or state of omniscience or the state of Buddhahood, it requires wisdom realizing emptiness. In fact, the directly realizing emptiness, the wisdom that directly realizes emptiness is required.
근데 이제 시드 매바 성행이 문이 되나요? 다른 것도 싫어야 돼. 녀물 그러다 뉴드 아니 바게 때니 매바 성행이 문이 되나? 아니 돈도 싫어야 돼.
So it is the wisdom realizing emptiness becomes a direct remedy towards both obscurations to omniscience and obscuration to liberation.
근데 이제 이내야다 돈은 것도 싫어요. 요 땅이야. 하지고 것도 되는 거. 해지고 것도 벌어. 아니 돈은 것도 싫어야 될 거가거나 더 자주 쓰는 거야.
Here again, however, just mere having wisdom realizing emptiness directly realizing wisdom that directly realizing emptiness alone would become a complete cause to achieve enlightenment. In order to become this wisdom realizing emptiness, become a complete cause of achieving enlightenment, and this requires a supporting factor from Cheda.
어디네 이제 담임집에 고모도 와라 아니 나중에 좋은 제가지나 아니 그거 친구지 그러면도 그거 매바 녀랑 그거 되는 지원은 다이고 고모도 도와요 말이야.
So when speaking about the state of is only by engaging in the practice of perfecting the practice of bodhicitta in conjunction with wisdom realizing emptiness. And such practice is not found in the practice of Sarvakayana and Pratikayana.
어디네 이제 상지승의 중앙라 이거 상지승의 중앙라 아니 드바니 방고 방와라 드바니 방제의 우리 님보 아니 돈 것도 싫어하는 줄 있고 그래서 마세베 시리 방와라 텔레 프로젝트 생각을 했고 근데 이제 다 모두 다 가도 소소하게 나는 지역에서 그래다 소소 주는 것도 지역에 가나 근데 장주가 세다 안 돈을 못 싫어했는데 다 모두 줄이야 맞게 템을 잡아야 돼.
So in order to achieve enlightenment, we need to first counteract these two obscurations and uproot those two obscurations. And in order to uproot those two obscurations, one then needs wisdom that understands emptiness, wisdom that ascertains emptiness directly, and such wisdom, ascertainment of this wisdom, ascertainment of that emptiness must be imbued by generation of bodhicitta. So therefore, we as a follower of the practitioner of the Mahayana Buddha, Mahayana Dharma, our main practice is to cultivate, is to generate wisdom realizing emptiness and bodhicitta.
다들 자주세 라주 제바라 야나 다이 냠제고 토니 제단 지여레 야나 주님명아 되면 토니 제단 주여레 와 데니 네 아니 존딩 토니 제단 지소